Vande Mataram. I expected everyone to repeat after me. Vande Mataram. Thank you very much. I would like to wish all my Tamil friends in Tamil, உங்கள் எல்லோருக்கும் என்னுடைய இனிய காலை வணக்கம். I also like to take the pleasure of wishing all my Telugu friends also మీ అందరికీ హృదయపూర్వ నమస్కారాలు. Friends, I'm standing here totally confused. My good friend, Chairman, mentioned in his speech that I am a family member of RMK. But if you go through the agenda, you will see Suresh Punjabi, chief guest. Now I do not know whether I am a guest in this college or whether a family member. Anyway, I would say that I believe I am a family member of RMK, and all the parents present here, you are the chief guests for today's function. I'm going to speak to you for the next 30 minutes. And I promise you that this is not going to be a speech, but it is going to be an appeal to all the parents that are present today. I'm going to appeal to each and every one of you. Last year I spoke to the students, but this year I decided to speak to the parents because you are going to be with us only for a few hours. I can always speak to the students much later. I stand before you in the capacity of being closely associated with the student community for the past 23 years. And my job, which the Almighty God has given me, is to instill the confidence in the students, to make them feel good, and to prepare them to face the challenges of this world. My dear parents, my task becomes very difficult year by year. It becomes more and more difficult for me. I'll tell you why. Because there are so many institutions coming up every year, 300 and odd, infrastructure, opportunities for the students, economic growth, everything. But my job becomes difficult year by year. Do you have the 2 sheets of paper that was distributed to you? All the parents, do you have it with you? There were the 2 sheets that were given to you, and appealing to the parents? Okay, it's all right. I have a copy. On page 2, para 7, I will read it right now. This is an appeal made by the student to the parents. Why I say this? I like to highlight. There is a girl, I said, go ahead. So I want to talk to you alone. I have a problem. I said, what's your problem? She said, sir, I am dying every day. I said, what? Yes, sir, I am dying every day. I said, what do you mean? She said, in my class, in my college, everyone is teasing me because I am fat and I'm overweight. Friends, to instill confidence in this girl is not an easy task. I had to bring to her notice that she is as valuable, as good as any other student, and I had to remind her to a small incident which I would like to share with the parents. You will know how difficult the world is becoming. I have a 500 rupee note with me. I showed this 500 rupee note to that girl who said, I am dying every day. You know what I asked my dear parents? I asked her one question. What is the value of this currency? The girl told me, sir, it is worth 500 rupees. I folded the note and asked her, how much is it worth now? She said, 500 rupees. I folded the note once more and I asked her, now is it worth 500 rupees? She said, yes. And for the last time, I folded it once more. I said, how much is it worth? She said, still 500 rupees. And at last, I crushed the note and said, is it worth 500 rupees? She said, yes. My dear friends, the message that I have for the girl is, you are very valuable and you are worth this much. The society may insult you, but your value never changes. The society might criticize you, your value never changes. The society might hurt you, the value never changes. The society might crush your self-esteem. You are worth fine. You are worth always, and your value will never, never change. She smiled and said, sir, thank you for making me feel good. There are thousands of children like this in our country. Maybe it is your daughter, maybe it is your son who's going through this. But parents may be ignorant of this, what's happening. I told this girl one more story. Not this girl, another girl. I like to tell you, my dear parents, some of the things that I do for the children may appear very weird for you. I ask the students, every girl and boy, to write a love letter to themselves. Sorry, I'm not teaching them how to write love letters, but I ask them to write a love letter to themselves. Why? I want to remind every student that everyone is a gifted person, and when you write a love letter to yourself, you have to identify your strengths, your potentials, your talent, your good quality, and you have to remember and keep writing about it. And I make the students read the love letter. My dear parents, one girl said, sir, I am not going to write this love letter. I asked her why. She said, sir, because I hate myself. In Tamil, நான் என்னை ரொம்ப வெறுக்கிறேன் sir. How can I write this love letter? I asked her, why do you hate yourself? She said, from my childhood. Every time I look at myself in the mirror, I see that God has given me dark skin. But my brother is very fair. My sister is very fair. But I am dark. I see myself in the mirror. I am short. But everyone in the family is tall. Sir, every time I look at myself, I feel inferior. I don't love myself, sir. You know what I had to tell her? My job becomes difficult year by year. Why I'm saying this? Because parents, if you are sitting comfortable, thinking that you have admitted your child in this engineering college and you can go back home and concentrate on your work, I'm sorry. There is something missing in the society. And only you, I, and the institution can fill this gap. Then I had to tell her why God made her dark. I gave her an example of a Negro boy who was dark and who went and asked the person who was selling color balloons, gas balloons that go up into the sky. The Negro boy asked the balloon seller, "Sir, you are selling all color balloons. Why is it that you're not selling a black color balloon? Why, sir? Does not a black balloon fly in the sky?" The balloon seller told him, "My dear son, even the black balloon color flies in the sky." He says, "But I don't see you selling a balloon of a black color." He took out the balloon from his bag, filled it up with helium gas, and allowed it to fly and flew up into the sky. And this Negro boy started clapping and said, "The black balloon is also flying." You know what the balloon seller told the Negro boy? "My dear son, it's not the color that makes the balloon fly. It's the gas inside that makes the balloon fly." The moral of the story, the girl who said that I am dark, I am short, I told her, it is not your outward appearance that has anything to do with success. It is your inner character, your skill, your potential and knowledge that will lift you up into the sky. External appearance has nothing to do with success. My dear parents, my job becomes difficult year by year. If you think it's an easy job to instill confidence in these students, it's quite tough. But as long as I'm alive, I'm not going to stop. Not because they are your children. Every child of yours is my child. They are my children. And I'm not going to give up at any cost of instilling confidence in them. Let me refer to page 2, paragraph 4 of what I have given to you. It reads, "Do not compare me with others. Help me to be myself so that the world will respect me for my individuality." My dear parents, unknowingly or knowingly, you know what is happening? We compare our children with other children outside the family and sometimes inside the family. Of course, we do it why? Because we want to motivate them. Is that not true? Is that not true that we want to motivate our children to do better when we compare our children with others? Let me remind every one of you here, to compare a child with another child is a crime. Because God has made every one of us different. And we must learn to respect that difference. If God made all of us alike, then we know doctors in this world, then we know directors in this world, no movie directors, then we know singers, then we know artists, then we know poets, then we know scientists, everyone would be an engineer. You know why God made us different? Because this world must coexist with everyone. But we fail to forget that God has made every one of us differently. But we push our children to do things the way we want them to do. Motivation is not to compare, but motivation is to remind and respect the differences that every student has and to deal with them separately. One boy student says, "Sir, I feel we should compare ourselves with others in order to compete." I asked him, "Can you give me an example?" He said, "Sir, my percentage is 73.5. The person who has come first in the class has a percentage of 84. If I want to come first, I need to compare my 73.5 with 84 in order to come first in the class, and that way I can compete." What a wonderful example he gave. Parents, you know what's the answer I gave him? I said, "My dear friend, you have made a very big mistake of comparing your 73.4 with 84. You should be comparing your 73.5 with 100, because your target is 100, your goal is 100, not 85. I appeal to all the parents here. Your children are beautiful. They are God's gift to this world. I appeal to all of you, please do not compare your children with others. Their individuality will be lost. Their tariqat mind will be murdered. If you want to motivate them, there are other ways you could do it. Let me draw your attention to page 1, paragraph 30. It reads, "Help me to form good habits and set an example for me." Friends, if you come to my class, when I use the projector, you will see at the bottom of every slide, there will be a message. Every slide at the bottom of, you know what's the message? Keep the country clean. Do not litter the places. Do not throw paper on the floor. Do not spit. It's the act of indecent people. Every slide. You know why? Do you know why the message? Because we claim that we have a wonderful system. We claim that we are a developing country. But if you go out on the street, you will see how developed we are. There is no character. There is intelligence, but lack of character. Something is missing. I am not complaining, my dear parents. I am not complaining. I'm not complaining about anybody here, but I am only making an appeal that you, I, and the institution have a lot of things to do. We cannot sit back and relax and say we have 95% results, we have 98% placement. We can't relax because there is a lot of work to do. At the end of the class, after 2 days, you know what I see? I see chocolate wrappers being thrown on the floor because I give chocolates every time to motivate the students. And what was the message I showed at the bottom of every slide? Please do not litter the place. Put the chocolate wrapper on the dustbin. But at the end of the 2-day program, the chocolate wrappers lie on the floor. Now I am asking you one question. What is wrong? Where am we wrong? What is our education system teaching us? Is it making us intellectuals? I want an education system that does not create intellectuals alone. I want an educational system that creates good humans. Intelligence is not enough. Let me tell you one more example. A girl called Gayatri, intelligent student, from the first year topper. She becomes a gold medalist, and she was my favorite student. When she got the job, she thanked me, and every month she used to send me a mail when she got a check from the employer. She said, "Sir, I received my check. I remember you. I thought I should mail you." And Gayatri was in the US. Married and happily settled. I repeat, a gold medalist and an intelligent girl. I received her mail for 2 years and 3 months at the first of every week. Suddenly, one of those months, I did not receive a mail. The next month, I did not receive a mail from Gayatri. The third month, again I did not receive a mail. I became worried. I sent a mail to Gayatri to find out how she was doing. There was no reply. Fortunately, I had a mail of one of her friends. I said, "I'm worried about my child. How's Gayatri? She hasn't mailed me for the last 3 months." The friend mails me and says, "Sir, I have bad news for you. Gayatri committed suicide 3 months back. Her husband also committed suicide 3 months back in the US. I'm asking every one of you, on the dais and off the dais, intelligent girl, a gold medalist, settled in the US, committed suicide? For what? What is missing? I don't know. I don't know what is missing. We keep talking about so many things. We talk about value education. We talk about values in school. Where is it? I'm asking you. That child had everything. She had a gold medal, but she did not have the happiness that she was looking for. When you go back home, my dear parents, I want you to ask yourself one question. Do you want your child to be successful, or do you want your child to be happy? That's the question I want you to ask yourself. It's very painful for me to see my children suffering every day, but they pretend to be happy because they never tell their parents how unhappy they are, but they come and tell me. Friends, you'll be surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be surprised. that every time a student does well in the class, do you know what I do? I go to the boys and I hug them. I'm like, the boys, not the girls, don't worry. I go and hug them. One of the boys, I hugged him. I said, thank you for the lovely participation. He started crying. I asked him, did I do anything wrong by hugging you? He said, sir, I'll tell you why I'm crying. My father has never hugged me for the past 15 years. My father never talks to me. He always scolds me, he always shouts at me. But when you hug me, I wish my father could hug me. You know what I told him? I said, I'm your father too. I love you. That's why I'm hugging you. Friends, you have chosen a college like RMK. You're going to choose to send your children for the next 4 years. And the faculty members are going to work very hard to see that they are going to be the toppest in the university. The software companies are going to pick them up. But what about your children's happiness? Can you guarantee me that happens? Can anybody guarantee me that? My heart breaks every time I go to the class. Sometimes I do not sleep at the night. Throughout the night I spend sleepless nights worrying about the future of this country. I am not saying, I'm not finding fault with you. I'm not finding fault with the institution. I'm not finding fault with the system. Because I don't believe in finding faults. I believe in one thing. To improve things when things go wrong. And I will continue to do what I can do. But you know why I'm telling you this, parents? I can't do this alone. It's too difficult for me to do this alone. I need your support. I need your support every minute. I need the support of the institution. Don't expect me to do miracles. Don't expect me to instill confidence in students overnight. Students, from the first day, the first years, where are you? Can you raise your hand? All the freshers, are you there? Can you raise your hand right now? Okay, you all are there. I thought you would have gone for lunch. Okay, I'd like to tell you something, my dear friends. As soon as you come to engineering college, they will ask you to improve your communication skills, speak in English, and to take seminars in the class. And whenever I go to the class, 95% of the students do not want to participate. And when they come into the class, my class, you know what they do? The first thing, they go and sit at the back. Very comfortable. Everyone wants to sit at the back. Nobody wants to sit in the front. And everyone is looking at me scared because I might ask questions. They don't want to speak. You know what they say? Sir, for 2 days, I don't mind attending your class, but don't ask me any questions. Don't ask me to talk in front of the class. Friends, if I don't understand your problem, who else will? Parents, do you know why the students are afraid to speak in front of the class? I like to bring it to your notice. When I went to the LKG, that was that time. Now we have some other preschool. My mother took me by the hand with my finger and she took me and made me sit in the LKG class and she left. First day in LKG. I'm telling you your problem, which I had. You know what's the first lesson the teacher taught me? Finger on the lips. That was my first lesson. Finger on the lips. Now I was surprised. I thought this was a school where I'm coming to learn, and every time the teacher says, finger on your lips. Okay. After lunch, I was looking forward to some exciting classes. And the teacher says, children, all sleep. I said, what kind of school is this? In the morning they say, don't talk. In the evening they say, sleep. And when I get up, I'm excited about the class. They say, school over. You can go home. I said, this is terrible. Then I went to the LKG. The LKG, every time I was speaking to the person next to me, teacher, keep quiet, don't talk. Keep quiet, don't talk. Previous class, finger on the lips. Okay. When I come to the 3rd, 4th, 5th standard, if I raise my hand to ask a question, don't disturb me when I'm teaching. Keep quiet. That was outside the class. I do not know why the teacher said that. Probably she never knew to hear that. Keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. Till 3rd standard. Shut up, don't talk. When I go home, my parents, பெரியவங்க முன்னாடி பேசக்கூடாது. பெரியவங்க பேசும்போது சின்னவங்க பேசக்கூடாது. Keep quiet. Wherever I go, don't talk, don't talk, don't talk. And when I come to the college, the faculty says, talk, talk, talk. And I say to myself, don't talk, don't talk, don't talk. Suddenly you want me to talk. Friends, you know why I'm saying this? To make you realize that my God is different. How can I make a child speak when for 12 years everyone has told them to shut up? Why? With the blessings of the Almighty, with the good wishes of the institution, and with such loving parents like you, I want this world to become a better place. I don't want to just teach the students about confidence. I want your children, my children. I want to say your children. Can I call your children as my children? Will you give me the permission? Yes. My children. I don't want them to be only successful. I want you to be happy. I want them to be happy. And the institution is doing their job. The faculty are doing their job. I'm doing their job. Parents, I want you to do your part. You should be the partners in our success. You need to spend more time with your children. You need to understand the importance of education with values. You know, when I forgot to mention one thing. You know, when I go to the class, you know how the students sit in front of me? If you want, I'll take a video and show it to you. One of the boys in the front row, sitting with his arms folded and his head tilted on one side. Who is this idiot? I'm telling you how they sit in front of me. And one student crosses his leg and sits and says, what are you going to say that I don't know? You know, the way they sit, the way they come to the class, absolutely no respect at all. Do I get hurt? Do you think I feel bad? I'm asking you, do you think I feel hurt? No. You know why? Because I understand them. I understand my children. My children have never been taught in school and to college to respect their elders. At home, there's no time for the parents to teach much about respect. But I tell the students during the class, if you look at me, if you look at my French beard, if you look at the way I dress, I look as a person from the Western culture. Outwardly, I may look a Western, but my dear friends, inside, I I am an Indian, I will be an Indian, and I will always be an Indian. You know what I tell you, our children? When you get a job, don't forget your parents. Please touch their feet and take their blessings. I tell them, please do it. In the class, I tell them, please touch your parents' feet and take the blessings because they are the ones. The job that you got is because of your parents. Don't forget them. You know why? Because our culture, our tradition says that Mata, Pita, Guru, Deva. But that does not make any sense now. Students who get placed, you know what they go and say to their parents? Dad, I got placed. Mom, I got placed. Those days are gone. I still tell your children and my children, never give up the values, never give up the culture, because that makes India the most, I would say, the most prominent country in the world. So parents, I have no more time, but I'm very grateful to God that I got an opportunity to talk to you, to remind you that I need your support. I need every minute of your support. I need you to love your children, understand your children, and give them more than just education. Give them more than just money. Give them more than just success. Give them happiness. And parents, I won't be able to do it by myself. I'm tired. Every year I find a job difficult. My faculty members are doing their best to support me. The institution is doing their best. But without your support, parents, it will be incomplete. I have a request for all of my parents here. Can you just put your hand on my heart, please, all of you? The parents, all the parents, please, put your hand on your heart and just repeat these words. Can you do it, please? I understand and recognize the great situation. Let me do my best to improve the quality of my child's life. Let me offer education, at the same time spend more time to make them better humans. Success is important for our child, but happiness is more important. I shall do my best. Thank you. Thank you for that.